Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi! Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast. Breaking news, WABC.
Wow, what a day this is.
It certainly is. And, of course, more attacks as we speak. There are air raid sirens going off in Tel Aviv. And then the big news, John, is that the U.S. consulate in Dubai was hit. It looked like by a drone coming in from Iran. So there's a lot of activity going on. And President Trump says the biggest hits are yet to come. And, John, how about the story we talked about earlier with the fact that first, remember, on Saturday morning, the Israelis took out that meeting of the Ayatollah and the 49
others.
That was
some story. I mean, I don't think everybody knows about it. We may have 1 million people listening to us. The next set of people running Iran were meeting.
Yeah, there was a second
and the Israelis
meeting.
found out about it and blew away the meeting.
Yeah, so the first one happens, remember, they take them all out. That happened Saturday. And then another one this morning just outside of Tehran.
So I want to know who's volunteering to be the third set of leadership.
Yeah,
fourth tier. We're at the fourth tier now. We're going down the totem pole.
We're going down, Craig
Did they get the third tier already? In the studio with us, we have Craig Eaton, the former chairman for 12 years of the Brooklyn Republican Party, GOP, and Judge Richard Weinberg. And then we have a special guest, one of the best governors New York State has ever had. We have with us Governor George Pataki.
We are so thrilled to have you, Governor.
Well, thank you, Rita. Always great to be on with you and John.
And Governor, I mean, you have common sense. You're every time we put you on the Sunday show, you're in the New York Post the next day. Give us your feelings. What the heck is going on in Iran? What I said to Sid the other day, Sid Rosenberg, who's a lot of controversy about Sid Rosenberg these days, and we have to deal with it. The fact is we sank all the ships that Iran has. We're destroying their air force. We're destroying all their missiles, ICBMs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. We have to do the same thing with the Houthis and the Hezbollah and the Hamas.
Yeah, but the big problem is the Houthis, I should say Hezbollah and also Iran specifically just came out a little bit ago and they said any ship that tries to cross on the Strait of Hormuz, they're going to set it on fire.
Well, of course they were going to say that, but let me say a couple of things. First, this was obviously a very well thought out and planned attack. This wasn't something where it was just something that came up shortly. Iran has been a horrible terrorist sponsor for the longest time, and the decision was finally made that now was the best chance we had to destroy that regime. And we have. You were talking about how the top tier and the second tier and the third tier of leadership are all gone. Most importantly, we're destroying their military capability. They're not going to be able to threaten people with ballistic missiles or drones or assault weapons. They're not going to be able to finance terrorism like you mentioned, the Houthis and the Hezbollah and the rest. And regardless of the outcome, and you hope for a positive outcome where the people rise up and take over, Iran is no longer going to be a threat to us, to Israel, and to the world. And that is a huge step forward.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know what I just heard also, Governor John, just a little bit ago, the German chancellor was meeting with President Trump, and this was welcoming because Europe's been a little, but he came out and said, no, we stand with you. The Germans are stepping up.
The Germans have stepped up and are standing with President Trump.
And the
but
British.
Spain is not.
Yes, Spain is not. That's an interesting
Spain has
one.
a far left minority government, and they're anti-American. And they pretend to be part of NATO and everything, but their president is anti-American.
Yeah, they said we can't use their bases.
Yeah, he's a far left, a semi-communist. He wouldn't admit it, but that's the case. The disappointing one was England. And the fact that they would not let us use this highly important strategic base. They're supposed to be our closest ally, and they basically told us to go fly a kite. And I hope this has negative consequences for the incompetent leader that England has.
Yeah, Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer. You know what I thought about, Governor? I thought, boy, Winston Churchill and Margaret Thatcher are rolling in their graves. I mean, where is the backbone?
Not only did he not let us use Diego Garcia, this critical base, but he also is giving it to a pro-Chinese government. It's British territory, and unless somehow that's derailed, he's going to have given away the whole island chain to a pro-China.
President Biden gave away $85 billion worth of equipment to the Afghanistanis, and the Afghanistanis, I'm sure, sold it to China.
Well, and not even just the Afghanistanis, John. Your points are great. To Taliban.
Right.
He said, here you go.
Keys. He didn't leave the keys for the he took them with him. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's a chaotic time, but I'm very hopeful that out of this chaos, we're going to end up with a safer world. Iran that cannot threaten others. China having been hurt by they're no longer going to have massive quantities of cheap illegal oil from Iran. Russia will be hurt because they're not going to be getting drones from Iran anymore. And we will just have a safer world. It remains to be seen, but I sure hope so.
Now, the smart thing that President Trump did this morning, and, a very smart thing. We had a discussion here the other day, or it might have even been Sunday. I worked every day the last 7 days. So I lost track of when I discussed it. World War II was started for one reason. We cut Japan out of oil, gasoline and oil. And I said, China depends on Russia and depends on Iran. President Trump did the smartest thing in the world. Came out with a statement this morning that China could have all the oil that they want. We will supply it to them, and we will cause other countries to supply it to them. And I think that was one of the smartest things President Trump has done.
Brilliant. At the market price, because China's been getting it extremely discounted. I hope
of course. President Trump did not say at what price.
Right.
The market price, because I believe Iran was selling it at least a 30% discount.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. But it is interesting how he's trying to kind of get China back in, that a lot of this is not just Iran, it's also China, too. That's the other big picture for the president, just in general.
I think President Trump wants world peace.
Yeah, he definitely does. And listen, John, he said again today, he said, I waited, I gave them every opportunity. I kept trying. And then the other big thing that came out today, John, everyone's talking about, is the fact that President Trump also said that he got intelligence that they were ready to do a strike, that Iran was ready to take some action, and that's why he said he stepped in. I believe
he also said, that President Trump also said, or somebody said it, whether it was Rubio or President Trump, that Iran was very, very close to having a nuclear weapon.
Also, had we not attacked them now, I was reading where China was in the process of sending hypersonic anti-ship missiles to Iran.
To Iran,
and
yes.
You look right now at the tremendous capacity Iran has had. All these rockets and missiles and drones they've been able to launch. Imagine if we had waited longer and they had hypersonic missiles from China. The damage when the inevitable happened, where Iran stepped over the line, would have been far greater than it is now. And talk about world peace. I'm hopeful on Ukraine. If I'm Vladimir Putin, and I'm looking at what's happening.
Right.
His ally Venezuela is gone. His ally Iran is gone. China is obviously disrupted by what's happening in Iran.
Cuba looks like it's falling soon.
Cuba looks like it's falling. And Putin may well be thinking, maybe it's time for me to make peace. And I certainly hope so, because the Ukrainians have fought so courageously for pro-Western values. And I'm just hopeful that Putin sees the light and agrees that he has got to stop this war.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's a great point. You know, the other thing, you guys too, I keep thinking, what about the Democrats? We've seen so many Democrats who have come out of late and have said, what imminent threat? I feel like saying, wait, do you want to see the Ayatollah on your front door? Is that what you're waiting for?
You know, I'm a glutton for punishment. So before I came over, I was listening to Hakeem Jeffries.
Is that why you're here? Is that why you're here on the show,
This is like relief for me. But I'm listening to Hakeem Jeffries holding a press conference on Iran, and it was absolutely awful. We're going to have an endless war. It's going to cost billions of dollars. Trump lied to the American people. And I'm thinking, we are in a war. We're in a war against one of the most evil countries the world has seen since Hitler. And instead of standing together and say, I may have disagreed with starting it or whatever, while we're in war, I'm going to stand with the Americans, stand with the president, stand with our troops. And instead, they're doing everything in their power simply because they can't stand Trump to undermine a common front while we're in a state of war. And that, to me, was very troubling.
Yeah, and Craig Eaton.
You know, I mean, the facts support what the president did, and the Democrats are in denial. What they're looking at, they want to spin it so with the midterms coming up that they can hold Trump accountable. They got to look at the facts. How many people did this guy kill? Tens of thousands. One news report said 200,000.
You know what? You know what it is, Craig? It's like saying Hitler's not so bad.
It's not.
I mean, honestly.
I mean,
we can live with him.
Right.
You know, so long as he doesn't attack us.
Right.
He can do terror all over the world. The two major threats to the United States, in my view today, are China. And hopefully we come to an accommodation and understanding so that threat never materializes. And the other is radical Islam. Right. And radical Islam had its funding, its training, its inspiration from Iran. They have posed a threat not just to Israel, but to the entire civilized West. And they will be... Radical Islam is really going to be set back by the absence of Iran for their funding, training, and bases.
Yeah, they were the head of the snake.
But timing is everything. Like the governor just said, they were looking at nukes. So if we didn't take them out now, 6 months from now, it would have been too late. 4 months from now, it could have been too late.
Well, and Craig, that's the naivete of some of these comments who are like, what do they want? That's why I'm saying, what do they want them knocking on the door?
They're just playing politics. They're just
Rita,
playing
I
politics.
think you're being very kind by saying naivete, and I think Craig Eaton had it right that they're playing politics. And it's all about... We want Trump to look bad. We want the Republicans to lose. And the elections are only, 8 months away. So he can't do anything right. And whatever he says, we're going to oppose.
Even if he gets rid of the modern day Hitler.
Absolutely.
How sad.
And it's tragic that we've come to this because we're at war. And we should be standing together in support of our troops and our effort and hoping we are successful in stopping Iran from launching more missiles and in creating a stable government.
Listen, these are not good people. We destroyed their Navy. We have to destroy everything else they have and not give them the ability to terrorize other nations and other people.
Absolutely.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.